welcome everybody. It looks like John Elkin decided to wake up and finally do his job because somebody got fired. Was it everybody we wanted fired? No, but hey, it's better than nothing. And here to do this impromptu is Canadian Dave. And yes, I am not home. That's why my face isn't on TV.
But your avatar might be the new coach's new best friend. We'll get into everything. Guys, welcome in for this emergency live. It's breaking. It just happened a few moments ago. It is official. As you can see here on the UVA website, before we dive into it, like, subscribe, get into the socials. Everything's in the description. But let's not waffle on. Thiago Motta. I'll try to say his name correctly one last time. Motta, not Motta. But fuck you, it's Motta from now on. Is no longer Juventus coach. The men's first team entrusted to Igor Tudor. There it is.
I guess they watched us bitch on Wednesday.
Well, there was the big meeting on Friday. So
they watched us whine and complain, and they're like, hey, those guys are actually right. We should probably do what they're thinking of. I mean, they did to an extent, right? I still think, like, for example, I think Gentili is a little bit under the hot seat too, which reports are saying that he is. Mm-hmm. Overall, I think, again, you had to do it. The guy it just wasn't working, and it just wasn't. It is what it is, right? Like, Motta wasn't the fit, and they finally made a move. I was a little bit flabbergasted with the suggestions of, hey, he was still going to coach the Genoa game because we're financially broke, apparently. I guess that coming out made Elkin sit there and say, yeah, I probably shouldn't let that go out there, so I should probably do something about it. The other interesting thing is looking at it now. Again, I don't know how true this stuff is, right, guys? Take it as a grain of salt, or with a grain of salt, or however people want to keep that saying as. But one of the reasons why Mancini wasn't picked was because he was more expensive, and he wanted an obligation instead of an option, because Tudor's is the 4-month with an option for a year. If that's true, I think that's absolutely stupid, in my opinion. It would make no sense. Why would you give him an option for a year? Because he has proven that he is not a long-term sustainable coach in all of his previous jobs. The one thing I kind of want to attack a little bit is I was listening to some stuff on my way to the restaurant this morning, and it kind of pissed me off a little bit. Maybe I'm just in a more agitated mood than I normally am over the past couple of weeks, but a lot of the justifications why people were happy that it was Tudor and not Mancini was because he's a former Juve player and he has grit. Okay, fantastic. How is that going to translate into results?
Okay, so here's my take, right? Because my angle with this whole thing is that right now it doesn't matter who you get. You just need a crusty old dude to come in and yell at the motherfuckers. That is Igor Tudor. What happens next, I have no idea. But for the next 9 games, it might just be what we need. We have to remember, as you mentioned with Mancini, he wanted the longer-term deal. How many top coaches would come in to this shit show of a Juve, 9 matches left, and just agree to those 9 matches alone, essentially? Like that, you were asking to put somebody into essentially a shit situation. And Igor Tudor, again, because he's a crusty old motherfucker, he is the kind of guy that would take that sort of challenge and opportunity. Your options are very finite.
He needs to he honestly needs to reboot his coaching career, in all honesty. So this makes sense for him. Mm-hmm. Again, for me, it's like I don't mind it. I don't really care that much because I think, is he capable as a coach to essentially, I don't want to say shithouse, but yell at this team to a top 4 finish? Sure, possibly. But again, we're going to sit here now and ask ourselves, what are we going to do in the summer after the Club World Cup?
Oh, we're going to have this conversation for the next 2 months.
Because it doesn't matter how well he gets this team firing up. I do not want him for the long term. I don't think he's sustainable for the long term. It isn't someone that you want a 2 or 3 year contract with, because it doesn't, for me, it doesn't make sense from a schematic perspective. Also from prior experience that he's had with other teams, he's just not a long-term coaching guy. He's a ferryman, honestly. And it sounds, and I'm not taking credit away from him, but I hope maybe he could effectively be the progressive transition to Conte or Gasparini, just because they kind of play a similar system. They're both, all three of them come out of the 3-5-2 skeleton per se. So like that, then I could understand, you get Tudor and then you transition him off for a Gasparini or a Conte. But that's why I'm a little bit kind of like, okay, great. I understand like people are happy, former Juventus player, gritty guy, yells at people, but what's next, right? Because you've got 9 matches, but then what are you going to do after? Because one of the other reasons why Elkin chose him, because Gentili wanted Mancini, and Elkin kind of told him to F off, and it looks like the board is effectively stripping powers away from Gentili as well because of the whole Motta fiasco, because some of the reports were saying that Gentili wanted to hire Mancini, but the board stopped it.
There's a lot more to this than
there's
literally
levels.
this headline. Yeah, there's levels for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely levels to this. For me, and I'll keep it honest, and personally, like, oh man, Mancini, former Inter player, blah 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 blah. I would have preferred him over Tudor because you could potentially use him as a stopgap for a year after this, right? Because I don't think Conte is going to be available in the summer.
Those are the rumors, though, that they're going for him. So I would be
they're going
to see.
for him, but
yeah. Conte does like to jump ship.
So like again, I'm holding skepticism on that, but the reason why I would say, because you could have, like, for example, Mancini he's got experience in dealing with really shit situations, and also getting certain foundational stuff laid down for someone to take over. I mean, he's got experience doing that. And that's why I was kind of like, okay, I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm not clapping my hands for joy to the idea. But for me, it's like, again, I'm very skeptical overall, where it's like there's this, I don't want to say over optimization on Tudor, but there is, again, like, I don't know what the hell's going on with Juventus fans, where are we at this position where we're just that bad that anything minor is like a Super Bowl win or a Coppa Italia win for us right now? Because yeah, we've got Tudor in, and again, I think he's great for what we need right now, and that's to whip people into shape. But I don't know, like, for example, what the long-term sustainability of it is, right? Because we're going from a 4-2-3-1 back to a 3-5-2, and then are we going to change the system again in the summer if we go in a different direction? So that's where I'm starting to sit there and think. I'm like, the only way you would get Tudor is if you are 100% convinced that you're going to either pull in Gasparini or Conte in the summer, because they have similar skeletal foundations for their tactics.
This is very much plugging the leak right now. I'm not even upset. Like, we could, and we are obviously going in on Tudor and the pros and cons. At this very moment in time, we have to at least recognize the fact that Motta was not working out. He had lost the locker room. Something needed to be changed, and this was probably the most financially responsible move, as well as the most short-term friendly move, as well as the move that could potentially create the most immediate effect in those few games that we have, those 9 games. Because everything else would be a longer-term project, and I think right now we just need to get our heads above the water.
Right, and that's a fine argument. Like, I wouldn't have an issue if that's the argument. But from what I've seen and all the justifications is, oh, he's former Juventino and he knows Juve grit and yada yada yada. Okay,
so
great.
But the sources, though, right? Like, these are just the typical, again, the State of the Union thing that we did where we're glazing people. And let's just flex on that a little bit as we ranted on about glazing Adrich and whatnot. What happened yesterday? The exact same thing. Just this under 19 Montenegro team. Nobody cares yet. It was a cool goal. It was beautiful. But this is the exact same thing where we just latch on to the shiny new toy and we just glaze the fuck out of it. There is no glazing on Igor Tudor. He is as blue collar as the motherfuckers come.
Yeah.
All right? Do not glaze this guy. Accept him for who he is, and he will not disappoint you, because you will not set yourself up with failure with false expectations. Just calm the fuck down, everyone, right now.
I mean, again, his play style, his scheme is, again, it's just aggressive, direct footy. There is no, like, hipster ball or anything like that. It's legit 3-5-2 counter-attacking, counter-pressing footy. There is nothing beautiful about Tudor ball.
No.
The issue is again, when you have a team that we have an injury crisis, I don't know how long they're going to last. I hope they can last these 9 matches. I mean, they should. They're professional athletes, but Tudor's style is very physically demanding. And yes, you will have instant results, but the problem is your feet will fall off at the end of it.
That being said, though, I don't see him having any troubles putting in a guy like Ruhi for 20, 30 minutes. Just be like, run. The other guy can be also fucked. Go and run.
Because I think looking at and I saw it on Discord, but looking at the point totals and the amount, I think you need 6 wins and 3 draws possibly to be comfortable in the top 4. I think that's what the odds makers are saying. So you've got to win 6 out of the 9 and not lose. I don't know if that's true, but
well, they're odds, right? It's not a true, it's a probability.
But here's the thing, right? This is where it's going to get a little bit different. Is you're going from side pass FC to sometimes you're going to sit back, sometimes you're going to high press, sometimes you're going to not do sideways passes. It's a totally different style.
It's going to be an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, it is.
There's going to be times where it's like, oh my lord, it's going to feel like kind of like, I guess, Allegri, very negative, very boring, and then other times they're just going to like run through the opposition and just steamroll. Oh, you just don't know. Yeah, you're gonna get all kinds of different shit.
Yeah, I'm really curious because like, for example, with Mancini, I could understand what he would do is he would probably transition to a 4-3-3 or something like that, right? Where it's going to be, an in between, but you're going from a 4-2-3-1 to a 3-5-2. That is a very big change.
That, however, is what we've been calling for this team. It's drastic, yes, but we should have gone to a 3-5-2 probably a couple months ago,
or even experimented with the 4-3-3. But now, because you look at it, right, your back 3 effectively is going to be Viega, Gatti, and Kalulu, and then maybe Lloyd Kelly when he's healthy as a backup. What are you going to be running as center backs effectively?
So this is an article that kind of tackles that here from Football Italia.
Wait, hold on. 2K is saying that it's an automatic renewal? I thought it was an option. Holy shit, that changes everything. Tudor gets an automatic renewal?
If it's Champions League, I'm assuming.
See, I thought it was optional.
Until 2026. With the option. Okay, that's Shira. This is a long one from Il Bianconero. Official. Okay, head coach until June 25 with the option to extend for a further season. I mean, there's so many different things.
Look, if it's an automatic renewal without any kind of Juve having the option, I'm concerned about that.
Romano said it as well, eh?
It's
wow.
Okay,
I'll look. I mean, things are coming in. That's one of the problems with coming in live as it happens is things keep on happening. So yeah, we'll try to get confirmation on that. Otherwise, just since we're on Football Italia here, it says Gatti. This is from ilbianconero.com again. Gatti, right center back. Here, Kalulu can cover that same position there. Apparently, Lloyd Kelly and Renato Vega to play on the left.
Yeah, you've only got 4 center backs and you're running a 3-back system.
Cambiaso Wea as wing backs. Locatelli, Thuram, obviously the midfield. And Tudor considers Vlahovic the best striker in Serie A. So,
well, I mean, yeah, we're going to see more Dusan because he's probably going to play Colo and Dusan together, or Yildiz and Dusan or whoever. So, I mean,
yeah,
it's 2 spots now. I mean, he should be able to break through. I just hope he could perform.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm concerned with that wingback position because how are you going to play Conceição or are you going to play Yildiz? I don't know what you're going to do there because you've effectively only got 2 full-blown wingbacks.
Yeah, the wingback situation is always the issue now, isn't it?
It's going to be very, like, again, I'm very, very skeptical on this one. Like, yeah, I understand direct nitty gritty footy. Like, I understand it and I get it. And it's something that this team has needed for a while, but I'm just concerned whether or not they have the player personnel. And I'm very skeptical on the move. I know, like, again, other content creators are excited and happy, but I'm going to be cautiously optimistic on this one.
Well, that was her approach with Motta. You can only try to be optimistic, right? And hope for the best. It is our team. It is Juve. We have to be optimistic. But I think our sentiments are fairly clear in that, yeah, it has to be short term. I haven't found anything yet in terms of the non-option, the obligation. Said Romano. Hey, let's just look at. Are you ready for more Doosan? Are you ready for it?
I won't have much of a choice anyway, so I'm not doing the watch-alongs, Davis. So
Yeah,
he's ready for more face palms on stream.
I don't see anything from Romano. All his stuff from a few minutes ago, with an option. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you what I got, man. This is X. Unless he's got something that he's not posting, he posts somewhere else. But 18 minutes ago, coach till 25 with an option to extend further season. That's it. That's his second and last. Unless you care about Trent Alexander. Or no, that was from yesterday. Nobody cares. That's his pinned. That's literally his latest post. So if you guys can get me a source, sure, put in the Discord or something. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm think things will develop. Oh man, we should get into this. Actually, this is funny. No, that was not it. No, I just had it. It's what Gintoli said. Give me a second. I know this is horrible. I just had it. Anyways, Gintoli said that I'm ashamed to have chosen you.
So you didn't do your research ahead of time? What an idiot.
Well, that's why Gintoli is now on the chopping block. Potentially not on the chopping block, but
deservedly so.
Maybe shown the chopping block and was like, hey, your head could be there if you don't watch out.
Yeah, and I do want to iterate the position, right? Like, I don't want people to sit here and think that we're trashing Tudor. We're not. If he's somehow able to make use of Douglas Luiz, Coop Myers, and the other players, Nico Gonzalez and whatnot, if he's able to figure something out with them, great, like fantastic. It's just looking at it from, again, we're giving you the positives, right? Blue collar, nitty gritty footy, but at the expense, he has not been able to show that he can handle something long term. He is a journeyman coach. It is a fact.
There is something to this, though. Say we don't really want to do a Conte. Actually, this can kind of work both ways. If we want to transition into a Conte, Tudor's a good stepping stone. If we just want the crusty old fuck that's going to yell at the guys for a little bit, just to kickstart them, and then transition into a different style of coach, whether it's a Mancini or, dare I say, an Allegri or whoever else might be out there in the market.
I don't think you could go from Tudor to Mancini, though. It wouldn't make sense.
It's not a stepping stone as much as it is like, okay, we plugged the hole, get out of here. Now let's put something in proper.
I would say Mancini and Tudor are effectively in the same role at this point, especially in this point of Mancini's career. Like, I don't think Mancini is the guy that's taking you to Champions League finals or winning titles or anything like that, right? No, like Mancini. Yeah, Mancini's got the resume of handling multiple teams, multiple different types of personalities on the club and the international level. So it's like you've got that repertoire there of a guy that knows how to handle it versus, like, for example, where Tudor just kind of beats you into it and says run really fast. And then again, I even said it when he took the Lazio job, right? Where I said, okay, great. They extended him, but he's not going to make it past, the first 2 months of the season. And guess what? Like, he didn't. So that's why I'm a little bit shocked if he stays for 25, 26, because that'd be 501 years of Tudor there, Snuventus. But I that's where I'm a little bit skeptical. If it was an option, the deal makes sense. I'm fine with it. But the automatic renewal for a season to me is not good. Like it's not good at all. Unless you're planning to do a massive exodus in the summer and then get players for the 3-5-2 and then transition to a 3-5-2 coach after.
You're gonna do
But
this all
then
over again.
you're doing essentially another rebuild, because this is where I have my gripes with Gintoli is you've effectively did a rebuild last summer, said that it was for a project, but the way that you did it was in a win now perspective with the players that you purchased. And then now you're going to have to do that again in the summer. That to me makes no sense. From a business perspective, absolutely not. Because you've effectively tanked Coop Meyer, you've effectively tanked Douglas Luiz, Nico Gonzalez, and all these other players' values, where they're not going to fetch you much. And the only thing that's going to fetch you is Yildiz. And that's if he's going to fetch you anything at all. So I don't understand again the logic here if you're going to do again a rebuild for a 3-5-2 by extending Igor.
No, this is a whole plug. And again, on Elkin, give him some credit if this is his angle. I'm making assumptions here. He said financially no to Mancini as well, partly because of the longer contract, but also because he would have demanded more money. He was making
because he's done more than Tudor.
Yeah, he also just came off that Saudi deal, right? Like he's used to money. He's gonna want more money. Keep that lifestyle up, right? Those nice suits. He is a nice dresser. I'll give him that much. But Elkin did say no, we're plugging holes right now. We're not putting any good. Fuck the good ideas. This is the idea. Plug the hole. Then we'll think about good ideas. He kind of took that approach with. And speaking of plugging holes and good ideas, he's got a lot of work over at Ferrari. Just as
I was going to say, after the China race this morning.
Jesus fucking Christ. Rolled by there as I was on Twitter. They got disqualified on technicalities. There's one more thing that I found pretty funny with Motta. I mean, we're just gonna trash him now at this point, I guess. I don't know, but Motta didn't expect his sacking. He thought he was the right person to fix Juve's problems. That's Sky Sport. I mean, I don't know how great of a quote that may be, but it kind of gives that idea I had about him, that he was too stubborn, he was too stuck in his own head, that he wanted to create things in like the image of his own likeness. He was full of himself, essentially. And this whole hipster 272 bullshit, and I know Primo Calcio was on X all over the place just trashing on 272 this past week. Where is it? Could anybody at this point in time tell me what a fuck a 272 is? Anybody?
No, they're still busy bitching about Max.
Oh my fucking Lord. So yeah, there you have it. He done. Going back to Dan. Yeah, we'll where are you? The watch along. Germany, Italy. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that still. We just want to get this out of the way because I know if we went live at 3:30 without addressing this first, it's all we would talk about anyways, and the watch along would be completely useless. So yeah, we'll still watch that. I thought Motta was a panic appointment at the time. Not really. No.
It was a schematic appointment that failed miserably.
It's 11. What do you mean it's 11? I don't know what you're saying. It's 11. Sal, you gonna suffer another Italy defeat potentially?
272.
It's 11. Oh, it's 11. That's all I got. Oh, I got it now. 272. Jesus. All right. It's 11. Fuck. Of course, Sal's a numbers guy. I wouldn't have picked up on that right away. All right. I mean, that was it essentially.
Yeah, again, just my advice to the listeners and the live folk, and then the people that will watch this on replay: be cautiously optimistic. Don't bite into what some of the folks that are putting out there, like, oh, great, he's a Juventino, he's gritty. Like, guys, we have to look at it objectively. Where it's like, let's look at the terms of the contract, let's look at the deal, let's look at the way that he plays, let's look at that. Yeah, he could give you instant success, but I don't know. I'm still kind of questioning certain things. Um, just because, again, from a sustainability perspective, because if you bring in Tudor and then you have to let him go right after in 6 months, then you've gone from Motta to Tudor to someone else within a calendar year. That's not good. So I understand that, Elkin wants to go the cheap route, but sorry, dude. Unfortunately, footy is a pay to play kind of game. So there's gonna be a moment where you're gonna have to start dishing out some cash to actually start getting some proper staff and some proper equipment. Like we said with Ferrari, don't be doing Lewis dirty over there, because German Dave is gonna lose his mind.
Donny Boy has to buy a new plank for Hamilton and a new front wing for Charles. So,
Yeah.
Montella. What about Montella, Dan? What about him?
I don't think he could get tipped to coach. Montella's kind of fizzled out. Montella had his run, and that's kind of it for him.
Yeah, I
And I don't think he'd leave Turkey, to be honest with you.
yeah, he's like just one of those prodigal sons of Turkey. They just take him and make him one of their own.
That's what
It's gone
Turkey
to
does
them.
with a
It's
lot
fine.
of players.
Yeah,
They do that.
Turkey can have him.
Turkey's the official like football rehab center.
Yeah, and again, BJ saying for CBs for 3-man defense. I think you might see. What do you see? Somebody like Cambiasso go in there, like
No, because who's your
fullback?
wingback?
Chico? I don't know.
That's where you see. That's where I'm scratching my head. That like people are excited about this hire, but at the same time, kind of like, how the fuck is this going to work?
Yeah, you would still want to go with the 4-man defense, but still set up counterattack. Like you could do a 4-4-2 or some variation there, right?
I just don't understand how he's going to play with a three
do
man
like
back line.
You can do like a 4-1-4-1 maybe, and like I don't know. There's all kinds of weird things you can do.
We won't know until we see the Genoa game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is next Saturday. So we have a bit of wait. It's actually not bad. It gives them just about a week to figure things out. Not the worst. It had to be done. This was a good move by Juve. Obviously, they took their time and didn't rush the decision. But at the same time, they understood that they had to give them more than just a couple of days. So they balanced that out decently.
I do have the Gazzetta report where Gentili told him, "I'm ashamed of choosing you." So It says here, Gentili did not mince words in his face-to-face meeting with the coach. "I am ashamed of choosing you." And the technical director reportedly thundered in the presence of Scandavino, criticizing the team's inability to propose a suitable playing style. Motta, who never considered resigning, appeared cold and seemingly calm, which apparently didn't sit well with the management, who would have preferred a more passionate reaction. This conviction of having done everything possible reportedly pushed the leadership to make the change. Furthermore, there seems to be a difference of opinion in transfer market strategy. Gentili believes that only a few acquisitions would be sufficient to compete for Scudetto, where Motta thought more players are needed. At this point, Tudor is a name that seems to have convinced the locker room members is called upon to chase his former team Bologna to go for Champions League qualification.
Well, it's good riddance. I'm happy that Gentili did finally come to terms with this, because Motta was one of his chosen ones, right? We kind of drilled down, and at least the ego of Gentili is aware enough to know when they fucked up, and he certainly understood in this situation that he did fuck up. I don't know what happened in that boardroom, if Elkin had to lay it down, or if there was some sort of self-realization. We already went over the fact that Motta didn't have that self-realization, but I could only hope and prayer that Gentili came to those conclusions himself, and he didn't have to be told by Elkin.
And then preliminary numbers are saying that Motta is apparently a 20 million euro sack. So
Wow. It was 3.5 a year.
5 years for 3 years apparently. And then the tax incentives because he gets the tax deductions and whatnot.
Oh, so he was like making 7?
I guess. So it's roughly about 20 million.
Which is another reason why they didn't want to go and spend big money on, who knows, a Mancini. His staff as well, yes, good point. Yeah, with everyone included. Good point. Thanks for basically pointing out that I'm an idiot for not realizing that. Thank you, Sal.
Gosh, I don't know. To me, that's a big L on Gintoli.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
Well, and 20 million on Lloyd Kelly as well, right? So just pissing money away.
Well, think about it, right? You sacked Allegri prematurely. Now you sacked Motta prematurely. Like, two really, really stupid moves.
Well, it's the exact same thing with the Sarri Pirlo bullshit. You sign him up for 2-3 years, you fire him after 1, and you keep on. But by the time you fire the next coach, you're still paying the salary of the previous coach.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, like, gosh, Pirlo is. I can't even, like, this is like literally history repeating themselves at this point, right? I don't know. It's.
You're just so defeated.
I'm not defeated. I'm just lost for words. Because, like, the other thing too was like all that next gen players that he sold and didn't get suitable replacements for. Like you have that, and then you have the coaching fiasco. Like, for me, I still don't understand how he still has a job.
Chiesa, like the fact that Motta got
Why
fired.
does people still care about Chiesa? The dude's like in the he's been thrown into the ether at Liverpool.
I love it. I just love this bullshit.
Like, oh yeah, hey, Motta kicked me out of Juventus, and that's probably him trying to weasel his way back to Juve.
Yeah, good luck, buddy. Oh boy, Joe.
Hell, we could probably. Here's the crazy thing: we could probably afford him now.
Yeah, we probably could get him back. Joe Cappuccino has my feelings, my sentiments just right. Juve, Ferrari, Italy, all disappointing. All right, well, excuse me. We're gonna be back for 3 hours from now. Kickoff isn't 3 hours from now. So, I mean, I'm sure we'll continue talking about this throughout for the next little while, right? We don't have any games till Saturday. This is what we have to talk about. So, we'll regroup. This was breaking. We got the breaking part out of there. As things roll in, we'll continue to cover and update everyone and see how the team's coming together in a 3-5-2. And KB with Allegri, and he just monetized his channel, Donut Vanguard. Go check it out. Retro Gaming. Graming? It's Retro Graming.
Pay that man.
And I am his first subscriber to his channel, so I'm gonna dick flex those monthly banners like a mofo.
I keep seeing these posts that apparently Tudor's going to focus on Doosan. Good. Now we need some value to sell that fucker.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Tudor's just here to get Doosan's value back up,
just so we can sell him.
Oh Lord! Fuck. Now I can't wait till Saturday. I want to see this.
I want to see a Doosan. I want to see a Doosan hat trick.
Yeah, I'm excited again, guys. I'm not excited. I'm not excited about today's game, but I'm excited for next Saturday.
Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be like the new coach boost where we win 3-4-0, and everyone's gonna say everything's fine and dandy.
Well, look at this too. Mi piace from Federico Chiesa for Tudor.
Good Lord, Chiesa's acting like the girl that left you, and then all of a sudden she sees that you're doing better, and she starts liking your stuff.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, good Lord, Chiesa's the fuck girl, as they call her.
Oh boy. Okay, Dash. You
Let's
gotta get
end
back.
this.
You gotta get
Yeah.
cooking, don't you?
I gotta babysit this place.
All right.
But only for you guys. Only for you guys I did this.
We'll be back in a few hours then. Might as well roll this bitch out of her.
See you later.
Have a good couple hours and see you soon.